All right. So once again, we finished up everything that we need to finish up, right? We finished the last chapter, which is chapter 6, which dealt with sales. So in this chapter right here, we're going to be practicing to do chapter 5 and 6. We're going to practice journalizing. We're going to practice what happens when there's a sales returns and allowances, as well as a purchase returns and allowances, okay? So this is everything that you know in chapter 5 and 6 combined into one scenario, because this is what happens when you're dealing with periodic inventory, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look here. Question here, there's no question, but the little thing that you need to know is that your inventory method is periodic and it's LIFO, okay? Assume that sales tax is 8.25%. So there we have it. So LIFO, all right, adds 8.25% sales tax. So let's take a look what happened on May 1st.
May 1st, purchased 500 brown mugs at $2.65, which came to a total of $13.25.
Okay, so you dove right into the inventory worksheet first.
Yes, and it goes right there on the purchase and expenses.
Okay, so let's do one thing at a time. So let's do, since we're already here on the worksheet, I'm just going to go ahead and do the worksheet first. So 500 items at $2.65 with the freight. How much did freight cost?
$100.
$100. So the purchase price was
13.75.
13. Okay,
25. I'm sorry, I had erased it.
no worries.
Yeah, 13.25, and and the freight, which made it 14.25,
Okay.
and cost per item. I think I did that wrong. The cost per item is the total cost times the quantity.
Not times. You're going to divide it, right? Because
Divide,
you,
yeah,
mm-hmm.
14.25 divided into 500. $2.84, 85 cents. Sorry.
No, good, good. All right. I'm just going to double check to see if this batch is evened out. Good. All right. So now let's go ahead and practice journalizing this. So how would I recognize my periodic inventory or my purchases that I just made?
Like inside purchase expense. For 13.25 debit,
Mm-hmm.
and then freight expense. For $100, and then accounts payable. For 14.25.
Okay. So if you guys read the scenario, right, I also want you to practice using the chart of accounts. So in this case, right, what was my purchase expense account and which one was my freight expense account and my accounts payable?
551 is purchase expense, and 511 is freight expense.
What was my accounts payable account?
201.
Okay. So again, this is how you actually properly journalize it, is that you're going to find, you're going to use your transaction analysis, right? Determine if a transaction should be recorded. You're going to use your chart of accounts to see if there's an account that exists. In this case, we've been practicing, we kind of know the general idea, right? So in this case, perfect, right? We have everything that we need here. Okay, so let's see what happened here. All right, make a note here, right? Usually what's going to happen is we generally want to put who we purchased this from, right? We purchased it from Cuppy's Co. Okay. How many items did we purchase? We purchased 500 mugs at $265 each, right? And did I receive some terms? Because I placed it on an account, right? All right, let's take a look. What was my terms?
515.30.
All right, 515.30 for 5%. All right. Good. So then what has happened next? On May 5th.
Did 15 broken return mugs for a full refund. So 15 out of the amount purchased, what was it? 500 was returned.
Okay. And we're getting a full refund, right? So where do you want to go first? Do you want to journalize this, or do you actually want to go to the inventory worksheet first?
Just put it on return and allowance.
Okay, so let's go ahead and go here, right?
Yeah.
So how many items are we returning?
15.
15. At what unit price?
2.6.
Right? Right? Because we only have one batch, so if we're returning that, that's exactly how much. And we're getting a full refund. So in this case, what is my total amount that I am going to be receiving back?
39.75 would be the cost for the 15.
Good. Right? Right. Just like we've practiced many times before, I'm going to go ahead and make this little section right here my goods available, because I just returned a batch of inventory items. So in this case, I want to keep track of my inventory, right? Because in this case, right, I actually returned items. So in this case, I had 500, but I end up returning 15. So how much should I have left?
485.
485, right? And in this case, I changed my total cost because I end up getting a refund, right? So in this case, if my total cost is this, right? I also need to subtract out my actual refund. So what should be my new total cost?
$12.85.25.
1285.25. Okay, so
Oh, never mind. I did it wrong.
okay. So I think you took this one right here. Okay, we want the total cost because I already know that at the end of the day I'm still gonna pay the freight. So the freight's gonna be included no matter what. So in this case, I just took the total cost here and I just subtracted out whatever I got refunded for. So in this case, I have a new total quantity and a new total cost. So therefore, I need to recalculate my cost per item. So in this case, what is my cost per item going to be?
I got 2.8561.
Okay, 2.5681. Excuse me.
Yes.
Good. All right. So that's my goods available. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at my journal now because I have to journalize what my refund was. Okay, so in this case, right, what should my journal look like? What accounts should I be using?
Account payable?
Accounts payable, right? Because how did I pay for the items? I didn't. I owe it. So in this case, they're going to reduce the amount that I owe. Okay, which is account number 201. All right, and then what's going to be my other account, my credit account?
Returns and allowance,
Purchase returns and allowances.
which is 556.
Okay, for what total amount?
Is it 39.75?
39.75. Right, we can double check our inventory worksheet. 39.75. Good. I also need to make a note here, right? That I returned to Cuppy's Co., right? That's the company I bought these cups from. And I returned 15 broken mugs at $265 each for full refund. Right? Okay. So this one, okay, so the same day you have something else here. What happened here?
We sold 10 mugs for $9.99 each for cash.
Okay, there we have it. So, what accounts should I be using? Or in this case, what happened here? Okay, we sold items for cash. So what's our first account going to be?
Cash.
It would be cash. Okay. What else accounts should be used?
Inventory.
Not inventory.
Would be sales?
Sales tax.
Sales and sales tax. Good. Oops. So sales, right? Because we sold a product. And we also dealt with sales tax. Okay. So, which account number is cash, sales, and sales tax payable?
401,
401 for sales.
230.
Okay, so sales was 401, sales tax was 230, and cash was 102. All right. So let's figure these figures out. So, how many cups did I sell?
10 at $9.99.
10 at $9.99. So what's my total amount of sales?
$99.90.
$99.90, all right? Now how much tax am I subject to collect from my customer?
About 8.25%, which would be 8.24. $8.24.
I got $8.
Okay. It should be $8.24. Because it's $99.90. That's close to $100. All right. So Nathan, recalculate that. So $99.90 times 0.825. So in grand total, how much cash should I be receiving? 108.14. All right. And of course, you could just say you sold 10 mugs. Okay. Your store should automatically know how much they sell each cup for, so there's no need to put it there. You could even kind of figure it out yourself. If you sold 10 mugs, right, and your sales was a total of $99.90, you can simply just take $99.90 and divide it by 10, and you'd figure it out that each cup was sold for $9.99, right? So that's this journal here. All right. Now, question to you. Do we need to update our inventory worksheet?
No.
No. Good, because the assumption is that at the end of the given period, we're going to take a physical count and we're going to figure out how many items we sold from there. So, excellent. Okay. Right. So then on May 6th, what happened here?
We sold 20 mugs for $9.99 each to customer A
Okay.
with the terms 10% if they paid within 10 days, correct?
Okay. So, how are we going to journalize this? Okay. Give you your chart of accounts.
So we just journalize it as it is, right? We haven't received the payment yet.
Correct. We sold the items to customer A.
Yeah.
So how do we record that? Because we still sold something.
So, okay, we have accounts receivable,
Accounts receivable, good.
we have sales and sales tax.
Good. So we have this time, right? On May 6th, we have accounts receivable, right? Because we placed it, the customer owes us the money. And we're gonna recognize that we had sales and sales tax. Okay. What account number is account receivable?
103.
103, and then we can just take the numbers from above. Okay, so let's start calculating. What was my total sales to customer A? How many cups did I sell to them?
20.
20. All right, at a price of $9.99. So what's my total sales?
199.80.
$199.80. All right, what's my tax going to be?
$16.49.
$16.40.
48. Oh. So you don't round up?
What was the decimal places? Actually, I could probably just calculate it real quick.
16.4835. Ah,
Okay.
it stays as a 8.
Okay. So then, what in grand total? How much does this customer A owe me?
216.28.
216.28. Good. All right. You can make a note that you sold 20 mugs to customer A, right? And did we give customer A some terms?
They get a 10% discount if paid in the first 10 days.
Good. So in this case, I'm going to make note of that just so then I know, right, that I will give them a 10% discount if they pay within 10 days. If not, the entire bill should be due in 30 days. Okay? Good. All right, so that was May 6th. Now, what happened on May 8th?
You purchase 250 mugs at $2.75.
Okay, so where do you want to go first? The inventory worksheet or journal?
Inventory worksheet.
Okay, so 250 at 275. And the freight was $50. Yes, freight was $50. Okay, so what's my total purchase price?
$687.50.
Okay. Plus my freight.
$737.50.
Okay. And last but not least, what is my cost per item going to be?
$275, right? No?
$275. Okay, no, that remember that's how much it cost me to purchase, but I have to include freight.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I got the 295.
$295. Right. We have to distribute 20 cents each to every single item because we need to make sure that when we sell our product that the customer is going to pay for every cost it takes to get the item to the store. Right? So in this case, if it's going to cost me $2.95 each item, right? I'm already selling it at $9.99. So I'm getting a huge profit there. Okay. So how am I going to be journalizing this?
Dash 103, right?
What's dash 103?
Cash and cash, and then there's 102.
Okay, so in this case, what was the transaction at hand? Did we sell a product or did we purchase items?
Oh,
We
we
purchased,
got
right?
purchase items. Yeah, we purchase items.
Okay, so what I'm purchasing I'm purchasing periodic inventory. So how do I recognize that?
Accounts payable.
Accounts payable, right? Because we place it on an account, right? We owe them money, but what else?
The freight expense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We're gonna do freight expense, purchase expense, and etc. So 5, 8. So what was my purchase expense? How much did it cost me? What was my purchase price?
What's that? 500. I'm sorry. 500 at dang.
What did we just purchase?
Can you go back up? So I forgot. What did we purchase?
250 mugs.
Oh, okay. Oh, so that came to 687.50.
$687.50. Good.
Plus the $50 in freight. $737.50.
Okay. Good. All right. I'm gonna make a note here, right? That I purchased this from Cuppy's Co. I purchased 250 mugs at a cost of $2.75 each. And my terms, right? What are the terms that I was given?
The 5%, 15 with the net 30.
Okay. All right. And that should be my journal.
15, 30.
Good. So then what happened that very same day?
We had to return 50 because they were the wrong color.
Okay, what else?
And was offered a 15% discount.
Okay,
And we accepted.
good.
So
So,
because they were specific, like they said it was the wrong color, it was and then they put in quotations, it was black.
mhm.
So also journal that as well in the notes.
You could, yes, you can, if you'd like. Okay. But the Cuppies Co., they offered you a 15% discount. They convinced you somehow that you should keep it because that they're the exact same cup model, right? Just the only difference is it's just different color. And they said that you could still, at the end of the day, sell the black coffee cups, coffee mugs, just as much as you could sell the brown ones. Okay, so in this case, they convinced us, so they convinced us to keep it, and they offered a 15% discount, and we accepted.
Okay, now this is where I get a little lost. So they get to keep the mugs.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to give them a 15% discount. Is that off of the balance, or is that off of just the 250 mugs that they purchased? Where does the 15% come in?
Where would they
Since
apply
they
it?
get, right, since they get to keep the mugs.
Okay, so here's a question. What about the other 200 mugs? Are they the correct order?
Yes, they kept them.
Mm,
They're not returning those, right?
absolutely, that's correct. So can you get a 15% discount for something that they did right on? That they sent you the right product for?
Can you give 15% off of that, off of the order that they kept? That's nothing's wrong with it that they like.
Right,
Can you get 15% off of that?
correct. Because there's nothing wrong with this order.
No.
All right. So in this case, we are trying to attempt to return these 50 black coffee mugs, right? But in this case, they convinced us, right, to keep it, and they said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize for sending you the wrong coffee mugs. How about I give you a 15% discount to reprimand my mistake?" To say, "I'm sorry I sent you the wrong ones." Instead of having you ship it back to me, how will I give you a 15% discount off of those 50 black mugs because they weren't what you ordered?
Okay, so that'll be the 137.50. They get back 137.50 um because they're keeping 50. No, so the 15% will come off of the 137.50.
All right, let's figure out where did 137.50 came from. So how did you figure out?
Because it was what? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go
Oh,
ahead.
because 50 times the 2.75 is the 137.50. So they're giving the 15% off of the cost of the 50 mugs. Of the 50.
Correct. Correct. So in this case, right? Now in this case, did we actually return 50 mugs?
No.
No. We kept them, right? So you're going let's do so we did 50 mugs that we are trying to return, right? And we're going to multiply by 275 and we're getting a 15% discount. So what did you get?
$20.63.
Yes, good. Correct.
Okay.
All right. Now because we purchased inventory, right? And we basically got an allowance. So in this case, right, I'm going to transfer that information over because now, right, I still have all 250 items, right? However, I got a discount off of 50 of them. So therefore, I'm not going to be charged for the full $737, I'm going to take $20.63 less than that. So what should be the total amount that I owe now for this specific batch?
760.
Go ahead, Kim.
716. Good.
716.87.
80. Let me see. We have 50 cents minus 63 cents. Oh, wait, you are right. That should be. $63. There you go. 87. Okay. Good. So then, since I have my quantity, right, and I have a new total cost, so therefore, what should be my cost per item?
3.5843. Oh,
Say that again. What was that?
yeah, no. I got 3.5843, which is
Okay. What number did you use?
716.87 divided by 200.
250. We still kept the 50 bucks.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So in this, go ahead.
Question, real quick.
Mhm.
All right, so I got a total brain freeze here because I'm getting lost again right here at this point where we're coming up with the 2.8674. How are we coming up with that number again?
It is taking your total cost, or your total cost divided by your quantity, right? Because we want to know how much is it going to cost me to sell each item. So in this case, my total cost is $716.87. I want to know how much each unit is going to cost me. So I divide it by my total number of units of 250.
I got it.
Okay. All right. Good. So let's go ahead and journalize this transaction, okay? So in this case, what did I do here?
Sales return,
Okay, now did I sell to a customer?
the purchase return
Purchase returns and allowances, but how did I pay?
on term.
Be a little more specific. What do you mean by that?
Um, can you go back up to the where the question is? Okay, so how did you? We're on the number 8. Okay, you return 50 mugs. Blah 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 blah. Offer 15%, and you accept. Okay, so what was your question? How did they pay?
How did we pay?
Originally, they paid you originally on terms.
What do you mean by on terms?
Oh, they purchased 50 mugs on account from supplies. They did it on an account, right? And on they didn't pay cash.
Good.
They put it on an account
Good. So what
with
account it?
terms,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, all right.
Right. So when you say terms, right? What does that tell me? That they oh yes, they did receive terms, but how did they pay? How did they pay? They owe us on an account, right? Or in this case, we owe them on an account. Because I didn't pay them with cash. I said I'm giving you an IOU saying I owe you money.
Right.
Okay, so in this case, um, I'll be using accounts payable and purchase returns and allowances.
Okay, now see that's where my brain freezes. I have a problem with trying to figure out how it's journalized and which account they go into.
Okay.
That's where I'm like stuck. I'm trying to figure out, okay, when you say, okay, which account does it go into? I'm trying to figure out, okay, is it purchase? Is it allowance? Is it sales? I need to brush up on that because my brain freezes when you go there.
No worries, and that's why we're doing this for practice, right? So in this case, the question was, how did we pay for it? In this case, we didn't pay for it. We placed it on an account. So in this case, when I'm returning an item, how can the vendor give me money if I didn't pay for it? So in this case, what would be the only option that they can do?
Give them back money, credit the account that they gave them the credit on.
Exactly. So in
Oh,
this case, right, if I paid on accounts payable, right,
right.
and I'm returning a product to them, therefore they're going to reduce what I owe them because in this case I never paid them in cash. So they can't give me money. They can't credit me with cash. They can only reduce my bill at this point.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So accounts payable is when we owe money. Account
Correct.
is when somebody pays money.
Owes us money. So when we sell it to a customer, right, we accounts receivable is basically the customer's account that we sell products to, and they owe us the money. Okay. Now, if you guys remember the exact account type, right? When we owe money to other people, it's a liability which we associate with payables. Okay. Where accounts receivable is an
Wait,
asset
wait.
because it's cash that we haven't received yet. Go ahead.
What, back up one more time. When they owe us money or when we owe them money, one more time.
Okay, so let's do one at a time. When let's say I owe a vendor money.
Mm-hmm.
That's a liability, right? And we associate liabilities with payables.
Okay.
Okay, because we owe, right?
Right.
Now, when we sell to a customer and they owe me money, right? They basically wrote me an IOU. That's an
Mm-hmm.
accounts receivable. It's an asset because that's
Because
money
they
that we
owe
can correct. That's money that we can get from that customer.
from them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. So in this case, right, what was my total amount that I got refunded for?
Was it $20.63?
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay. And of course, I'm going to change up my description here, right? Because in this case, Cuppy's Co., I got an allowance or a credit, however you guys want to associate it, right? For 50 black mugs, right, at $2.75 each. And I didn't get for a full refund. Instead, I got a 15% discount. Okay. Okay. So then, what has happened on May 10?
You sold 30 mugs at $9.99 each for cash.
Okay. So, how should my journal look like? So, again, let's take a look at a chart of accounts if you need help. So how should my journal look like?
Cash,
Cash, right? We received cash. What else?
um, cash, and then it's going to be, sales tax.
Good. Because in this case, in this context, right? I'm selling to a customer. Right? So here you go. Cash, sales, and sales tax. All right. So in this case, how many items did I sell or how many mugs did I sell on May 10?
30.
30. So what's my total sales?
$299.70.
Good. All right. So then in this case, right, how much tax am I going to be collecting?
2473.
2473. So in grand total, how much cash should I be receiving?
324.43.
324.43. All right. And in this case, we sold 30 mugs. All right. You don't need to indicate it's for cash because right there in our accounts, we received cash. So there's no we don't need to have that extra detail. Okay. So then what has happened on May 12th? Excuse me.
You sold 60 more, you sold 60 mugs at $9.99 each to customer B, on terms.
Mm-hmm. All right. So am I going to journalize this transaction?
Accounts receivable, sales, and sales tax.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to use accounts receivable because we placed it on an account. Okay. Right. We still sold stuff, right? So in this case for sales, how many cups or mugs did I sell to customer B?
60 at 999.
Okay, so that should give me a grand total sales of
599.40.
$599.40. All right. How much tax am I subject to collect?
$49.45.
Okay.
Okay. And then
How much in grand total do they owe me?
1247.85. That's so wrong. Hold on.
1247. You're
Oh,
off.
I was.
You were off by a dollar.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
1248. 1248.85. Okay. All right. So then again, I sold 60 mugs. Okay, to customer B. And I believe I gave my customer B terms, right?
Yes.
Right. Let's check it out. It should be 10% if they pay within 10 days. If not, the whole thing is due in 30. Okay. So there we have it. Right. So we reached the end of our first journal. So let's go ahead and jump right into journal number 2. Okay. And let's see what happened next. Okay. Oh, I hit the wrong one. Okay, so let's see what happened next. So on May 15, what happened here for this section right here?
Customer be returned. I think 30 mugs
Okay.
for refund.
All right, so customer B decides to come back and say, I don't need half of these mugs. I overbought, or whatever reason that they want to return. So in this case, they only purchased it 3 days ago, so we are subject to get them a full refund. So in this case, they're returning 30 mugs back. So how are we going to journalize this transaction?
Are you gonna debit sales returns and allowances and then credit accounts receivable?
Correct, because that's exactly how they paid us, right? They paid us on an account, so they owe us money. In this case, because they didn't pay us anything, right? Our assumption is that we are going to just take it off of the amount that they owe us. So in this case, right, it's May 15, excuse me. Right, we have sales returns and allowances, right? Because the customer is returning items back to us. And because, like we mentioned earlier, they paid us on an account. Okay? Now, of course, with this, right, what else are we subject to actually return as well?
Sales tax.
We need to return sales tax. So in this case, right, what account number is sales returns and allowances?
406.
Sales returns allowances is 406, okay? We know sales tax to be 230 and accounts receivable is account number 103. So in this case, how many mugs are we actually returning? 30, right? So what's my total amount that I am refunding? Or in this case, for sales. Well, how much was the total amount of mugs that I'm returning?
299.70.
$299.70. All right. And how much tax am I subject to also return back to customer B?
$24.73.
Okay. So in grand total, how much cash am I going to refund to customer B?
$324.43.
$324.43. Good. Right. And here again, you could say customer B returns 30 mugs for full refund. Okay. So then let's see what happened here. Right? What happened on the same day on May 15?
You sold 25 mugs at $9.99 each.
Okay, good. So in this case, we have our individual customers that come in that are on an account, and we also sell to the general public. So in this case, on the 15th, I sold an additional 25 mugs for cash out to the public. So in this case, what should my journal look like to reflect that I sold 25 mugs?
Cash and sales tax.
Okay, good. Now, how many mugs did I sell?
25 at $9.99.
Okay, so that gives me grand total sales of
24.75.
24.70, 24.52,
I
20,
got $249.79.
Yeah.
79.
What did I say?
Okay, no, that's good.
What did I say? I said something different.
I have,
249.75. Is that correct?
that is correct, yes.
Okay. I don't know what came out of my mouth. Something else.
All right, so how much sales tax am I going to be subject to be collecting?
I got $20.60.
Good, and grand total cash?
I haven't added that yet. Oh, $270.35.
Good. And of course, we sold a total of 25 mugs. Let's see if we have time to do one more transaction. Okay. So then let's see what happened here on the 18th of May.
So customer A pay in B. Are we to assume that they pay on the terms that were given?
Okay, so let's take a look. When did we actually sell to customer A?
May 6.
May 6th. How many days did we let them have for the discount?
10.
10. So 10 days from the 6th is how many? It's what?
They're outside of it by 2 days.
They missed it. Yes, that's correct. Now let's take a look at customer A. Did anything happen to customer A? Any returns or anything like that? No. Good. So let's go ahead and take a look at our transaction for customer A on the 6th of May to find out how much in grand total they owe me. So let's see. May 8th, customer A owes me a grand total of $216.28. So therefore, right, customer A is paying me with cash in full.
So is it gonna be the same cash, sales, and sales tax?
Okay, so in this case, we're not selling a product to anybody, right?
So it
But
would be accounts receivable?
yes, because customer A is paying off what they owe me, and we received cash. So in this case, yes, cash is yes, right? Because that's how they paid. They paid us, and we're going to credit accounts receivable because we're decreasing the amount that they owe us, right? Because this is what they owe me, and now they're paying it off. So in this case, 102 and 103. Now, for what total amount did they owe me? Again,
216.28.
216.28. Okay, so that means that should be the amount of cash that I should be receiving from customer A. All right, and I'm going to make a note here that customer A paid in full. Customer A paid in full, right? No discount because they missed the discount, right? This is what they owe me. We've already calculated the sales and the sales tax. This is what they owe me, and now they're paying for it with in full with cash. Okay. Okay, let's see. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, let's see. Should we just do the last one so we don't lose our spot to before? Yeah, I'm gonna do this. Let's just go ahead and continue do this one real quick. What happened here during the day on uh, May 18th?
You sold there's another 50 mugs was sold for $9.99 each.
Okay, so in this case, what should my journal look like this time?
Cash, sales, and sales tax.
Good. All right. On the 18th of May, right? How many mugs did I sell on the 18th of May?
50 at $9.99.
We sold 50 of them at $9.99, so sales. So what's my total sales?
$499.50.
$499.50. And then how much tax am I subject to collect from the customers?
$41.21.
Good. And in grand total, how much cash should I be receiving?
$540.71.
547.1. Right? Excellent. Okay. And of course, I'm going to make my note saying that I sold 50 mugs. Okay. Good. All right, so I'm going to stop here for now. So we're going to continue on May 20th. Okay, we're going to take a quick 20-minute break. So, and we'll come back and finish up the rest. Okay. So right now, I'm just going to call the time at 10 o'clock. So please be back no later than 10:20.